Hi, I'm Rachel and I'm a bravoholic. I'm not even joking, I am obsessed with the Real Housewives. I try and talk to everyone about them. I've managed to get a few people into different series like Vanderpump Rules, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Miami, but alas, no one quite has the same affinity to these women or people as I do. Anyway, I always get onto sales calls where people are looking to get into remote work, they're looking into appointment setting, but they don't know whether it actually aligns with them, whether they can find a client that they could actually support and enjoy working with. Let me break down some of the Real Housewives and who I would pair them with if they were in my academy and wanted to get into appointment setting. People in my sales coaching, then they have the tools where they can go out, they can start doing their outreach to clients, and they can actually onboard clients independently from my own academy. Just because this is something that I really enjoyed doing when I first got into remote work, as you have that direct client relationship, that trust is already there, and it's not like you have someone micromanaging you where the expectations are set by yourself and the client. Just overall, it's a great way to work, great with this. That being said, if I had Sonja Morgan from the Real Housewives of New York, let's say she's working with me, she's very flirty, she loves male attention, she loves the boys, she always has different friends, she's always up for a party, she sometimes drinks too much, which is a bit of a liability as a setter, but she can basically talk the back legs off a donkey, especially if she's in the mood to do so. I wouldn't necessarily pair her with a female client. I would look more down the online fitness coach route, looking for men. Maybe they're working with other men, they're helping them build stamina. Don't need to go into too much detail over why Sonja might enjoy working on that account and talking to men that are looking to build stamina. She's working with an online fitness coach, supporting guys with stamina, and she's talking in his DMs, pretending to be him. She's learning more about these clients, learning more about where they're currently at in terms of like what they're working towards. Are they working towards a big race? Do they just feel like it's something that they want to work on in terms of performance? And she will happily be feeding that back to the client because it will be like gossiping for her. So that's who I would pair Sonja with. Sticking on the same theme, so let's go through the Real Housewives of New York housewives because they're my favourites. So we've got Bethany. She would obviously be partnered incredibly well with an online business coach just because she's been successful in business herself. To be honest, she's probably in the position where she'd more be hiring a setter than working on a client's account. But you can see what I mean, where her skill is online business, maybe even an interior design lead. She loves doing her apartment renos. She could work in real estate. So just really feeding into the housewives' hobbies for the industry that they could actually really perform. They could really enjoy this role. There's such a vast amount of industries that you can work in as a setter. I've even heard about people hiring setters. I would never want any of the girls that train with me to do this, but there's literally online business coaches or online business owners or just people with a limited amount of time that are hiring setters to manage their Hinge profiles. Like, that's the demand for someone to be taking over your messaging, because it's such a high value task. There's a lot of time you need to dedicate for it to work, because it's not just a case of sending a message, it's a case of tracking these people. For example, Sonja working with this online fitness coach that supports males with stamina and coaching them in terms of performance. If someone isn't at that point where they are actually ready to invest in a solution, she will keep a tab on them and she'll know exactly when to follow up, she'll know exactly what day they're working towards, and be able to really bring that motivation and bridge that gap between a problem and a solution by going into it in more detail. Ramona, I think she would actually really benefit from being in the events industry, especially in the Hamptons. So actually working with events planners for pre-Hamptons, let's say. She's working with one of the events planners and she is reaching out to everyone that has engaged with Hamptons real estate. She's reaching out to everyone that has previously worked with them. She's basically going to have their calendar stacked with bookings, and that's from doing outreach on their Instagram, from managing exactly where they are in the pipeline, whether they have someone, whether maybe cold outreach to anyone in their network, and acquiring these leads that way. Who else? Luann. She might work for a matchmaker. I know that love's really important to Luann, especially in the Real Housewives that I am currently watching. I'm not sure what her latest situation is, but can't wait for the Golden Girls to come out. Luann, I'd partner with a matchmaker or someone of that sort, someone that is having a bit of a lifestyle change, maybe someone that is helping women midlife through a divorce, through putting themselves first, some sort of mindset coach for women or matchmaking service. I think that would really do her well, and essentially she'd be learning about these women's problems and being able to bridge the solution by putting them in touch with her client and booking in those calls. But I think having gone through so many different experiences, like divorce, like when she got arrested and had to go to rehab and it was all in the press, but her very like pretentious way of seeing things, she will be able to really look at these girls' problems and have a strategy that she can say to the client, I would talk to them about this. But she would also be able to uplift them and build that rapport in the conversations due to her own experiences.